Not all darkness lives out there. Some kinds of darkness wear a human face. Evil doesn't always come with a sinister grin or piercing eyes. Sometimes it smiles kindly, shakes your hand, whispers sweet words. But behind that charm lies a shattered soul, a heart that lacks compassion, and an ego that long ago lost its moral compass. Stoicism, the philosophy of calm and inner strength, does not sugarcoat the world. It teaches us evil is not a myth, it's part of reality, not to make us fearful, but to prepare us for awareness, because if we cannot recognize toxicity, we may be consumed by it, or worse, become it. In this reflection, we'll uncover 7 clear signs that you may be dealing with a truly toxic person, and more importantly, how to protect your soul. When the world around you loses its light, they're driven by destructive emotions. Toxic people are not always born with bad intentions, but they often become victims of their own emotions. Anger, envy, greed. When left unchecked, these feelings take the wheel and drive the person straight into chaos. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. These people don't reflect, they react, they lash out, they manipulate, they destroy trust, not because they must, but because their emotions control them. Seneca warned us, uncontrolled emotions are the greatest threat, and emotions are contagious. The anger of another, if you're not careful, can ignite your own. That's why it's not enough to simply avoid them. You must guard your inner world. When you encounter someone who's ruled by feelings, take a step back. Don't respond with fire, respond with stillness. Control begins where reaction ends. One of the clearest signs of a toxic person is the absence of principle. They don't care about honor, courage, or truth. They choose convenience. They prioritize gain, no matter who it hurts. If someone lacks integrity and honor, what's left to admire? They often say things like, "I had to do it," or "that's just how the world works." But Stoicism teaches us, no act is truly right if it violates virtue. Even Marcus Aurelius, an emperor, reminded us, do not use another's darkness as an excuse to abandon your own light. When you face someone without principles, remember this, your light doesn't come from them. It comes from within. Protect it. Live by it. Do not let them make you forget who you are. Toxic people thrive on chaos. Stoics live by virtue. When you commit to reason, integrity, kindness, and discipline, outside noise fades. They can laugh, they can insult, they can leave. You remain rooted. 3. They use trust as a tool. Trust is what connects human beings. It's the bridge between two souls. But to a toxic person, trust isn't sacred. It's just a tool, a method to gain access, then manipulate. They pretend to be reliable, just long enough to gain your confidence. Then, they turn trust into a weapon, striking precisely when your guard is down. No man can be good who convinces himself that evil brings advantage. Seneca, the world needs trust, but it must not be blind. Stoicism teaches us this. Be generous, yes, but not naive. Be trustworthy, but don't expect everyone to mirror your integrity. Don't let one betrayal turn you into someone cold. Don't let their actions steal your essence. Just remember this. Kindness is never weakness, and when trust is placed in the right hands, it becomes one of the greatest strengths of character. 4. They create chaos to feel powerful. One of the most common tactics of a toxic person is division. They whisper lies, speak out of both sides of their mouth. They sow conflict, because when people are divided, they feel like the center of control. Why? Because in chaos, they feel relevant. In confusion, they feel strong. But this isn't power, it's fear, disguised as control. The mind of a wicked person is like a storm. It troubles itself and everyone around it. Marcus Aurelius. When you meet someone like this, do not play their game. Don't engage. Don't argue. Don't let them drag you into the mud. Be like a rock that the waves crash against, yet it stands firm. Epictetus. Your calm is the greatest resistance to their storm. Your stillness breaks their cycle. 5. They take pleasure in others' pain. This is the darkest and most chilling sign. Toxic people don't just lack empathy, they rejoice in others' suffering. This isn't just cruelty, it's the absence of humanity. They mock your failures, smile at others' tragedies. Why? Because deep down, they are so hollow that someone else's pain becomes a temporary sense of fullness. No one is more miserable than the one who harbors malice in their heart. Epictetus. Evil never brings true satisfaction. It only deepens the loneliness inside. You don't need to get revenge on people like this. You need to protect your soul from becoming like them. Your power lies not in punishment, but in peace. Let their emptiness be a reminder to fill your life with something deeper. 6. They manipulate emotion to control you. A toxic person doesn't always yell to control you. They don't need to raise their voice. They only need to whisper doubt into your heart. They make you feel guilty for things you didn't do. They twist reality until you question your own mind. They play the victim, then flip. 7. They never apologize or feel remorse. 400 words. There's a kind of person who is always right, always has a reason to justify their actions. Even when they clearly cause harm, they twist the story. Until you're the one left feeling guilty, they dodge accountability with calculated charm. They make you question your own emotions. And worst of all, they never say I'm sorry. To them, apologizing is weakness. It means admitting imperfection. It means giving up power. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. True strength doesn't come from always being right, but from being brave enough to admit when you're wrong, and to grow from it. He who refuses to admit fault is one who refuses to grow. Seneca. A strong person is someone who can bow their head when they've made a mistake and rise again, wiser than before. People who feel no remorse, it's not because they're flawless. It's because they lack the depth to feel the impact of their behavior. Numbness becomes their armor. Ego becomes their wall. They don't apologize, not because they can't, but because there's no space in them where regret could live. And you, someone with a heart that still feels. Don't be fooled into thinking silence is noble. Don't believe that forgiving without accountability is maturity. Forgiveness is personal, but trust must be rebuilt through responsibility. Keep your heart open, but don't open the door to those who never knock. A sincere apology can heal a wound, but proud silence? It's just salt poured on the scar. If someone never learns to say sorry, they likely never learned how to truly love either. Maybe you've met someone like this before. Maybe they hurt you, made you question yourself, made you lose sight of who you are. But today, you've been given a gift, awareness. You've seen the signs. And when you can see clearly, you can choose differently. Not everyone is toxic, but if you don't know how to recognize it, you will be affected by it. Sometimes quietly, sometimes deeply. Stoicism doesn't tell us to run from dark people. It teaches us to stand like stone, shine like fire. Even when the winds of life blow hard, the wise man harms no one and is harmed by no one. Seneca. So next time you feel pulled into the shadows, remember, you don't need to fight with hate. You only need to stay anchored in your truth. If this message spoke to you, subscribe to Stoic Mindset and Money, where each week we return to clarity, calm, and quiet strength. Not to escape the world, but to move through it with wisdom.